I refer people to a report prepared by the retired Judge Robert Nugent and others. You remember this saying that in 2018, President Ramaphosa appointed this commission, Judicial Commission of Inquiry, into the South African Revenue Service. And the reason for that was that Sars, you remember, had been performing very, very well. In fact, outperforming. They would say, for instance, at the end of the financial year, we'll raise R1 billion. And come the end of the year, they will have collected $1.25 billion. So this happened over a number of years. And around 2014, it changed. They started underperforming. So they would say, we're going to collect $1 billion. End of the year, they've collected 750. That's what caused the appointment of the Judicial Commission. Because quite correctly, President Ramaphosa said, no, but there's something has gone wrong. So the Nugent Commission of Inquiry sits and prepares two reports, an interim report and a final report. If you haven't seen them, these reports are both on the internet. They are in the public domain. And what they decide, they conclude. Now, the South African Revenue Service, all of us know this, is responsible for 98% of state revenues. The Nugent Commission says there was a group of people who decided to destroy the institution. And goes around and then tells the story in detail. What do they do on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4? To destroy the institution. The reason SARS starts underperforming, which sets off the alarm bells, is because the process of destroying it was working. And the people were destroying, SARS is collecting these billions of rand. They didn't steal a single cent. No looting. Because the task was to destroy the institution. Now you destroy that institution, SARS, you destroy democratic South Africa. And that was the aim of the people who were trying to destroy SARS, was to destroy this democracy. Now, you don't have to believe me. Just go to the internet and read those reports. The then Deputy Chief Justice Zondo goes into the same question, same SARS. And having looked at it, he agrees with what Judge Nugent said and goes further and makes what is an extraordinary statement, which is that in their own work, the Zondo Commission, they found that the President of the Republic of South Africa was central to the task to destroy SARS. It's in black and white again, it's on the internet. Judge Zondo says, we found that the President of the Republic of South Africa made it his point to make sure that is part of the process of the attempt to destroy the South African Revenue Service. That doesn't make sense. You can't be President of South Africa without the revenues from SARS. But yes, you're doing exactly the opposite. You are the president, but you destroy this institution which gives you the capacity to govern. The question must arise. Who is this person? It's inevitable. I'm saying the matter goes a little beyond what Ron Haberman said about the change of presidents. It's a much more fundamental change. There were people in this country who never accepted the change which took place in 1994 and decided that this thing which has happened must fail and set about making sure that it fails. I'm saying these agents of change, youth must understand that. Because in order to recover South Africa as these agents of change and make it what it was in the first 15 years, you've got to understand what caused the change. Why this strange phenomenon? South Africa going this way, and then this way, as Ramatlo was saying. On both occasions, the ANC is the governing party. It's a governing party as South Africa goes this way. It's a governing party as South Africa goes the other way. We've got to understand that. Because in order to change the thing, we've got to know what is this thing that we're fighting, which has brought us these negatives. As change agents, as the youth, as change agents, I think the youth must try and unite itself. There isn't anybody, any institution, organization in the country today which I can say this is an organization representative of the youth of our country. And therefore, when I say to the youth, you are the change agents, I must go and talk to that organization. It doesn't exist. The Next Generation Collective, a very important initiative, well done, very well done. But it is not, it's an important part, it must be an important part of a larger thing. We want, as Judith Lamin was saying, we must see ourselves as agents of change. But for the youth to become that agent of change, you must unite. The NDA is part of that group. That must be part of this. National Youth Development Agency. There's the South African Union of Students. You must be part of that. Another collective, because it's not the Progressive Youth Alliance. All of these youth formations must come together to say, what do we do as the youth of South Africa to contend with this reality? The forces that cause this change, so that South Africa goes this way, are still at it to this day to make sure the country sinks. If we don't deal with them, the country will sink. So that is why it's very, very important to understand what is the nature of this beast that we want to deal with, which has produced this negative South Africa. And I'm saying the youth, as a united collective, must be this instrument of change. Get together. How they're going to do it, I don't know. The Next Generation Collective must lead that process. How do we put the young people together so that we act together as youth to change our country for the better? We've got a national youth policy, 2020 to 2030. I don't know how many of us here, young people, know that policy. But it's a national youth, of course, National Youth Development Agency would know that the policy. maybe let's look at that. Maybe can is a basis to unite all of us as young people made of that. Maybe, I think, even the Constitution. If you just look at the preamble and the founding principles of the Constitution, I think it would be sufficient of a basis to say, as young people, let's gather around these objectives in our Constitution. This is the kind of South Africa to which we must give birth. Yeah. But that's a challenge. I'm saying the youth must see themselves as change agents. They must understand South Africa, what it is. They must understand what is to produce the ups and downs, to be able to answer the question, what is to be done. And the youth must unite and act together in pursuit of a particular objective. The last 2 points, Sekaya, I must make, is in 2004, I said that it will be important that people of South Africa should get together in a national dialogue. Because it was perfectly obvious to me then, as it is continuing to be now. The country is drifting. No sense of direction. Where are we going with regard to the economy? We don't know. Nobody knows. Government says they've got a program, medium term, whatever. They call it a plan. It's not a plan, it's a wish list. This kind of leadership which South Africa needs to extract itself out of the crisis in which it is, a general crisis. It's a political crisis, it's a social crisis, it's a crime crisis, it's all manner of crisis. It's not going to come from the political parties, that direction, none of them, or the government of national unity. It needs the people, the youth, the women, to come together. So what do we say about our country? Some mischievous people tried to capture that initiative in order to destroy it. But fortunately, many South Africans are saying we need a national dialogue. Without the intervention of the people, the country will not get the direction it needs. And the youth must be very central to that national dialogue. As it was conceived and is being followed up by the foundations, they segmented the country into 32 different constituencies. These are the constituencies that must be part of the dialogue. It's the youth, it's the women, it's the traditional leaders, everybody. So the youth would have to make their minds up about many things, not just about youth matters. This South Africa we want. So that initiative is a challenge that it's coming to you, the young people, to say you are at a constituency in that national dialogue. Therefore, you must come together to address whatever these issues are that have to be addressed in the national dialogue. The last thing I would say, Kaya, is that in 2020, the country took a very good decision, which was that the socio-economic challenges facing the country were so deep, so deeply entrenched, that you needed national unity in order to solve them. That's where the idea of a social compact came from. Therefore, that government and business and labor and civil society must actually sit together, say what is it that must be done in detail, not wishes, but a plan, and be bound by what they had agreed. They worked on that in 2020, 2021, and then it collapsed. It vanished. All of a sudden, it ceased to exist. Nobody ever held a press conference to say the attempt to form a social compact has failed. It just vanished like a ghost. Because there were people who didn't want it to happen. The same people who are responsible for that change made sure that this thing doesn't happen. We have to go back there. We can't rescue this economy unless the principal players get together, government, business, labor, social, and say, what do we do? It's inevitable. That has to happen. But in the end, I'm saying the next generation, collective, very well done. Very good for the initiative. Yeah. But now, in order to get to this position, where South Africa becomes a beneficiary of a generation determined to renew it, requires that, as a youth, we must get together and do the things that I suggest we should do. And I'm sure we can succeed.